Peace and love. We're here with our brother Rich, producer.
Yes, sir.
So here we are from the club to the studio. No, it's not 5 in the morning. You know what I mean? So this is the next day. Well, thank you for inviting us in the studio. That was very nice of you, brother.
Right.
Bless it. So here we are at the Mecca, the pad.
Yeah.
This is where it all happens.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, I have a facility where I work. I work different ways. Sometimes this is my old school way of working.
Yes, right.
I have an older way of working. I started out with drum machine first. Back in the day, I had a thing called a Dr. Rhythm, and it wasn't even mine. I had to give credit to my man Kenny Cooley. He was the one that let me. That's how I got started. Because before that, I was DJing. I used to build my own speakers. Build my own speakers, hooked up with all my equipment by myself. When we first started out, we were like, we call ourselves the junkyard DJs because we would find little pieces of speakers and tweeters and stuff out of people's garbage, and we added, it's like that Fat Albert, the Fat Albert cartoon, and
I hear that.
We just used to take little pieces of bits and pieces, 8-track receivers. All the receivers we could get, we pile them up and we find speakers, and that's how we started.
Wow. Now, what classics has come out of this room?
Well, I've been here for 8 years and I haven't been doing nothing too much. I just been formulating stuff, for the new stuff I'm coming out with. But most of my stuff was done out in Long Island.
Right. So here's your equipment. Man, now that's a keyboard. I've never seen a keyboard like that before. Yeah. I'm too scared to press a button.
No, this is not just a couple of years old. I used to take all my samples and lay them all across the keys, and I would find what I like.
Yep.
And back then, you had to find your own samples from records, or sometimes I sampled other records.
Yeah.
And what they do now, like all the machine, the new Akai stuff, they just came out with the new Serato Studio. They have stuff already in there for you, so you could just press a button and start and go. But that's the problem what's happening today. Everybody's sounding the same. Everybody's using those same stock sounds.
Right.
Back then you had to sample. There was the Triton. This is the Phantom. There was the Triton. There was the Motif by Yamaha. Kronos. There's a lot of them from back when. The Sonic. They had the modules. 1080. 2080. I think they came out with a 5080. I'm not sure, but
wow. But this just about does everything. You do your drums on your keys, and
yeah, I separate my drums. Sometimes I keep my drums. You can do your drums in a chromatic way,
right?
Kick, snare, or you could just. When I sampled anything and put it anywhere I wanted, all across the board. This is after the MPC period. I got my MPC in there. I'll show you in a few minutes. But,
okay. Yes.
But I do everything across keys now. That's just my preference now.
Right. Yes.
But I still like touchpads. Actually, my son, he messes with Logic a lot, and all he does is use the mouse and cut and paste. He don't touch nothing, and he makes amazing music. I'm like, wow.
Now, do you find yourself in like? I mean, it is a blessing to live in this time where we have all this technology, because years ago we'd have to spend a lot of money to go into a big studio, make a beat just to record this and that. Now you could, with technology, how long will you be using this equipment for? Do you think technology is here to stay for a while, then something new will come out? How long will we be using all this type of stuff for? Another 10 years till something else comes up?
This is already vintage now,
It's already vintage.
Because every 2-3 years something new comes about. Soon you're going to have something, once you think out of your head, it's going to be right. Come right out. That's
right.
going to be the new evolution.
And now it's all in a digital format, so
you could actually hum what you want.
Right.
You could hum it out on a microphone and it'll line up, and all you got to do is chop it right, and you substitute the sounds, and that's it. That's all you need. A microphone and Logic or what have you. Ableton. There's so many other softwares that do it. Yeah.
Wow.
Stand by Papa in the fan. Back in control the crowd. Ride home and down. Drop you to the city with your hands down. Town to town. Until it's world renowned. And I'm out New York City all year round. What up?
Yeah, when I was working on Rakim, you know, we stayed with him for like 3 months in his apartment. Me and Kerwin Sleek Young, we did let me see, Pass the Hand Grenade,
Yes.
and Rest Assured, and I looped up parts of Kick, what's the name of this? Kick Step. I'll get back to you on that.
That's fine. I should know too.
Right. But when working with him, it was amazing because you think this is a small space. He had all his stuff in a closet. He had all his stuff in a closet.
Jeez.
He had 2 turntables, speakers,
Right.
and he had his book of rhymes open. I never touched it. You know, he left me in there alone, and I never touched that. I never touched his rhyme book. But you could, you could look and you could see he wrote rhymes on there, and he did graph too. He know how to do graffiti as well.
How did you meet up with Rakim? You already know, and you had some material out there.
It was last night where I showed you on Elizabeth Street.
Right.
There was a place called Rush Producers Management. Me and Kerwin, we was fresh out of high school, and we met in college, and we decided, you know, we were both DJs, and you know, we wanted to take it to the next level and start doing music production.
Right.
And then from there, we would go into the city, and people put us up on the Rush Producers Management.
Right.
And we got in. It took a couple of weeks of going back and forth to the office, and people like Francesca Spiro, rest in peace.
Rest in power. Yes.
Linda, and Darren. Darren is the guy who got the tape to Rakim, and a few weeks later, I got the call. He called my mom's house, and you know, he was like,
Wow.
"Oh, this is raw. I like the first track and the third track on the cassette. That, you know, because back then it was all cassettes."
His story going down, man. His story is your story. I mean, just what a great feeling. Now you're from Long Island.
I'm from Queens.
From Queens.
And
Strong Island.
And then I grew up in Long Island, but I claim Strong Island, of course. You know, a lot of people from Brooklyn or Queens, they moved out to Long Island, but you know, Strong Island was slept on for a bit. But you know, when Rakim, Public Enemy, De La Soul, and many others came out, you know, put you know, EPMD, of course.
Yes.
You know, they put Long Island on the map. And Queens, you know, you had 1212, Studio 1212.
Yeah.
You had in Long Island, you had 510. 510 is where the Bomb Squad came out. That's Keith Shockley, Hank Shockley.
Yeah.
And Eric Vietnam Sattler. You know, he took us in, and he used to live on Bleecker Street, and he used to bless us with information and what to do and what not to do with, you know, your contracts, get your publishing, don't let people use you, and you know, because he saw we had talent, he took us under our wing, his wing.
True family makes movements.
Yeah. But going back to what I was saying before, when I was in Rakim, one of his production secrets was, I shouldn't share it, but I don't know if he still does it, but he says he kept everything in his closet, so the creative vibe that's around him doesn't bounce off the wall.
Right. Amazing.
You know,
so yeah, Rakim's house, what an experience. Working with the God, Rakim. Staying in his house, being allowed to be in his house, to work with him, allowed to share your ideas.
Well,
you know.
Well, part of the idea was when he told me about working in a small space.
I hear that, man. Yeah.
So I got everything right around me. You know, this is the baby right here.
Oh yes.
Did most of the work with. You know, I picked up some diskettes, and I'm going through some of my old discs right now. Yeah, this is the original. And I never went to the 2000, the 3000. I wanted the 4000, but I never got to it. I picked up the X and I picked up the Live, but I mostly use the Live. And I just doodle around with a lot of stuff, you know, computer software. I started off with Macintosh SE.
Right.
And I used Performer. This is before Digital Performer, before audio. And I used to link the MPC 60 up with that. And this is before, how could I say? Yeah, before digital audio.
Right.
And what we did,
there you go.
I linked those two up, and then technology went up, came along, and now we got up to Logic 10 now. But
wow,
I've used Cubase for the longest. I have a lot of Cubase. They were the first one that had the VST. I got Pro Tools, I got a little bit of everything. But I like to find my little workflow. And I'm still searching, because they make stuff every year, and you got the Native Instrument stuff. I tinker with that. You mentioned Reason. I mess around with that
Fruit
as well.
Loops and all.
So I just mess around, tinker around with everything.
Wow, amazing. Yeah. Well, today's technology, you're going to get more of a solid kick, more quality in your sounds, aren't you?
Right.
Yeah, more crystal clear, loud. Now you master your own stuff individually,
right?
And
through stems, I master stems, or a stereo track. Yeah.
What is mastering for the people that don't know out there? Is that so you could be able to play it anywhere in the world on any stereo? Sounds the same and good.
Pretty much that, and also back then is like people used to record at different studios, and you wanted to match the levels of each song from different areas,
Right.
But now, now that we in the Spotify age and the iTunes age, they all have their own algorithm that they add to mastering. So you don't really have to master. Before you wanted to have the loudest record.
Right.
Jay-Z's record was the loudest. You wanted to match your record to Jay-Z. That's not true no more.
Right.
Because now you got Spotify. Well, not Serato, but Spotify. You got SoundCloud.
Right.
And you should have your stuff professionally mixed, but you still need it mastered if you want to put stuff on CD.
That's right.
And, distribute it. But if you're gonna have it streaming, you still need it mastered. But back then, mastering was to, like, if you had an album, because now we're in a singles market.
Right.
Everybody's putting out
like
singles.
a hit.
Yeah, they want to try to put out the hit. There's no concepts and there's no albums no more. But when they do it, they want to have it competitive to the Cardi B's or the whoever's hot right now.
Right.
The same sound quality.
There you have it. Yeah. Amazing.
But I started out with the doing two cassette decks. You do go back and forth on turntables.
Yes.
Next pass, I used to cut and scratch the chorus. Then you have your rapper, which is my boy Supreme, back in the day, rest in peace.
Yes.
He used to work with a lot of people like Sir Ibu from back in the day, 1986, 87. Walk This Dog Jizer, Holy War.
Right.
But that he wasn't the Supreme that was part of the Divine Force. He was another Supreme, that I knew. He grew up in Long Island, and then he moved to Brownsville, Brooklyn. Then he came back to Long Island and showed me his rhyme skills. He came back with gold teeth, a beeper. he had a moped.
Wow.
And he was getting money. He was a messenger, and we put our money together. And we came across this guy. Well, he came across us. His name was Eric Ezo. And he started a record label called Ezo Records, located on Georgia Street off of Pennsylvania. And that was my stomping grounds. I was 17 years old, a junior in high school, and we put out a record called Phoenix, which we recorded in Staten Island, a spot called Direct Sound Studio. That was the first time we recorded. Then the second time we recorded was at what's that spot? It was on Hart Street. Oh, Dr. York. We recorded out of his studio.
Wow.
And this was back in 86.
Really?
Early 87. And then we released it in 87. It got played on WHBI. That was, at that time, that was the only hip hop station. It was from 12 a.m. to 5 in the morning. And, you had the Supreme Team Show, Jerry Blood Rock, Hank DNA, Hank Love.
Wow.